Okay, I'll level with you. I haven't done any prep for this yet. So, this is gonna take a little bit for me to set up. Okay. I've been wanting to do a tarot reading for March for the last few days. It being March 4th and all, you know, I wanted to do it on the 1st, but I am who I am and have completely lost track of time. So that didn't really happen. Until this year, hadn't been doing tarot at all, but, I've talked about in the past how I think it's a really fun and sort of instructional format for, just for thinking and storytelling, creating narratives, and I really value that. And I've really appreciated doing it so far this year, and just it's serving as kind of a focus or a locus or a talisman or a totem to center thought or meditation or conceptualization around, if that makes sense. I'm throwing around a lot of words that are vaguely syllables, synonyms, but aren't exactly. Dude, what a drop. Oh, it didn't drop. The page just froze. I'm like, that's a really weird place for that to pause. Okay. That was like mind melting in its abruptness. So I've been enjoying it. Particularly, I've been enjoying it, especially with this read, and I know it's a please wait screen right now. Don't worry, you're not missing anything. I've especially appreciated it with this drawing that I did at the beginning of the year that was just an absolute shit ton of cards. And so I wanted to keep with it for now, at least. For how long? We'll see. But it's fun and it's entertaining, and it's been a good way to pass the time. Okay, so we're gonna start with... Oh, fuck me. I should have kept these open, not open them that way. If I get rid of this, we're just gonna see my right monitor. Oh god, look at that fucking webcam. Look at how out of focus you are. It's better, but it's still pretty bad. Do I like this being this way? I mean, my shirt's inverted. Should, yeah, I mean, that way it actually looks like it's a... I guess I don't have it this way because it makes it look like I'm looking into the fucking corner rather than up at the content, but whatever. That would bug the hell out of me. Let's see here. So, for context, this is... Fuck you. Okay, well, that was an odd drop. There we go. This 12-month spread is what I'm drawing from. So I did this 12-month spread back in January, and I think I did a fucking video on it. So before I do a draw for this month, I want to take a look at what we had for March, what we had for the first quarter, the guide overall, and the advice, themes, and challenges. Maybe just starting with the quarter and with March, huh? So, what was the first quarter? I think the first quarter. I really would have helped to have done this in a way that wasn't just wasn't just Twitter, but c'est la vie, that's what I did. We got the 8 of Arms, or the 8 of Swords, for the first quarter. And this is the Neon Moon set. So, 8 of Swords, if I'm remembering correctly. Negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, and a victim mentality. 8 of Swords, I don't need a description. I want a cute little summary. Reveals you feel trapped and restricted by circumstances. Believe options are limited with no clear path out. Might be an unfulfilling job, an abusive relationship, significant amount of debt, or a situation way out of alignment with your inner being. Okay, whatever. You're trapped between a rock and a hard place with no resolution available. Take note that the woman of the card is not imprisoned by the 8 swords around her entirely. It's this sword here, and if she wanted to escape, she could. The themes of restriction, they do hit different when you are into BDSM. They do hit different because being restricted is not always or necessarily an unpleasant thing. It can be very comfortable. But you know that the comfort or discomfort, it's a mixed bag, right? So, okay, we'll do it this way. We got 8 of Arms here. So this is for the January, February, March. And I don't remember if these were inverted or upright. I just called them all upright because of the weird orientation of that read. Imprisonment, powerlessness, blind spots, isolation. It's winter. The latter half of winter, where especially the further north you get, days are short, nights are long, it's gray and dark and cold, and being inside all the time is fucking exhausting. So these feelings of isolation, of imprisonment, of claustrophobia even, it's there. Also in the sense of having to work and feeling trapped by, capitalism. And also beholden to getting a job and keeping that job, regardless if it was good for me or a good fit. And in that job, finding myself and the place I work for in a state of crisis and feeling committed to that crisis and committed to helping see that through. I'm stuck there, but I haven't really been feeling trapped, except by my own commitments. I've had a recurrent fear or rejection of commitment, anxiety around commitment come up. So this reaction to imprisonment, this reaction to being confined. Sure, I can see that as a somewhat recurrent theme. Now, particularly for March, and I did not take the best photos because shaky hands and dark lighting do not necessarily make these in focus. So 2 of Wands. It's 2 of Wands or 2 of Wires in this set. Oh, Wands is first, isn't it? Do 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 do. Boop boop. Progress, discovery, and planning. Okay, you know, on the surface, nice things. I don't have much planned. Right now, I'm not planning much. The month is young, right? And maybe that's a recurrent theme. It would probably do me well to start making some plans, to start thinking about what I want to do, what I should be doing with my time, with my energy. But honestly, you know, I just left my last job with this notion of taking some time to myself, getting my things back in order, prioritizing my social life more, making sure I'm taking care of myself. And I think it's less of a plan, you know, that I left with, more of an ambition or feeling for what I wanted. So maybe this is a call, or this inspires a call to take that notion, take that feeling, and put some framework around it. You know, put some steps or guidelines or flag. The word that keeps coming to mind is flag, but that's not right. Checkpoints or whatever, to demonstrate progress toward that goal or toward that desire or ambition. Yeah, and I mean, that wouldn't hurt, right? I can think about looking for work and what I actually want and don't want. I'm already budgeting, so I don't really need to be doing that. My lease is coming up in a couple of months, so maybe thinking about if I want to stay, if I want to move, where I'd want to move to. I've been feeling a lot of wanderlust this last month particularly. And part of that is just, you know, end of winter, beginning of spring, getting cabin fevery. Another part of it is just thinking about people who aren't here and wanting to be around them. So I don't know. So we have, to start out, you know, these are the filters that we're reading this through, right? Themes of imprisonment, of confinement, making a plan, discovery, insight, planning, discovery, progress. Ostensibly to escape that confinement or imprisonment. I feel like, unfortunately, the things I'm now imprisoned by, capitalism, having to pay rent, utilities, and exist as a material creature, are largely inescapable, but maybe mitigatable. I don't have a particular question, right, that I want to draw on or draw for this month. Not really. What are some things that I've been feeling strongly about? I've been really, really refreshed. Having time to just breathe for a little while. Just catch my breath, recover from work. I mean, I hadn't done laundry since like the second week of January because I was, you know, waking up at 6:30 every day, getting on a bus around 7:15 to get to work at 8, staying at work until 5-ish, busing home, getting home around 6, you know, eating, showering, watching a couple of shows, going to bed, doing the same thing Monday through Friday. And I wasn't doing laundry because I couldn't get quarters because banks are only open 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. And I just didn't have the time. And it was this really great demonstration of how I was losing control, slowly, of my well-being. I was letting things slip so I could work. I wasn't talking with friends as much. Not that I do as much as I should. I wasn't talking to people as much. I wasn't getting out with people. I wasn't... cleaning after myself or taking care of my apartment or my things as much as I should. I was really just putting in the maintenance on myself to make myself able to work, and carried on by that momentum. And it was noteworthy, particularly because where I was working was in a state of crisis, right? And I was caught up in that momentum and wanting to help and being able to help and feeling really fulfilled in that, but putting myself aside. And I stepped away from that with, like I talked about, this desire to focus more on myself, especially with my birthday coming up next month, and it being 30 that I'm turning, wanting to be reflective and intentional. I'm not really looking for guidance in March. What I want from March, what I really want from this month, is the permission to relax. A space to relax and breathe and have fun and be joyful. just to enjoy myself. I want a fucking break. In a lot of ways, like, from stressors, I want to break and escape, but also just like I want permission to have fun and to not worry and to not have anxiety and to not have stress. And a lot of these stressors can be external, but oftentimes, especially with me, they're internal, or at least internalized. I'd like a break. But I don't think that's unique to March, right? Today I have a crush on my mind. I had a really nice brunch with a friend of mine. I've been thinking a lot recently about internalized expectations and presentation of self versus true self or healthy expressions of self. Meaning, how much do we confine ourselves by social expectations, norms, explicitly stated or implicitly stated? How much we're confined by, defined by, modified by those things. And this pursuit of being genuine. And just kind of how being genuine is in itself a manufactured phenomena. How there is no id. There is no ego. I don't buy that shit. That it's all socially programmed or genetically programmed, and that it's all conditioned. And that this idea of this transcendent, escapist, utopic version or vision of self is beautifully romantic, but maybe a bit more complicated than just I'm just doing me. And I've been thinking about that, and the process in my life, my process of being more confident, being more accepting of myself, being more embracing of what I like and what I love, and giving myself more permission to be more fearless when it comes to sharing who I am and being who I am and expressing that and embracing that. Not just cautiously, not just stubbornly, not just self-reliantly, but vulnerably. And that's still something I'm working on. But it doesn't really leave me with a question, right? It doesn't really leave me with March. It doesn't leave me with something that I want to draw on, which is a shame, because that's kind of the whole fucking point of doing this, right? It's to meditate on an idea or concept and use this as a, oh no, that's worse. Use this as a focal thing. I don't really have one. I have a few. And maybe that's an excuse to like do several draws, but I don't really want to do that, dude. I kind of just want to do one and done. So I'm just gonna take the top 3 here, and we can think of it, you know, problem, process, solution. We can think of it whatever context we want. I don't want to dig into it that much. So first draw is just gonna be inverted 5 of vials, so 5 of cups inverted. Beautiful. Yeah. You know, you could have picked this up like a normal person, Alex. Yeah, but that's kind of faded. All right, so now let's dig for this. 5 of vials. Hold up. Like, wait a minute. That might not give Neon Moon. I'd really like a holy shit. Pixel Occult, you actually have these? You rock. Right, Pixel Occult on their website just have these fucking cards. God damn, these are pretty. 5 of vials. This is how I should have been doing this shit. Look at how much prettier this is. Vials. 5 of vials inverted. Okay. Image, a new tab. Copy. Yeah, look at this garbage. I should have been doing this better. New image, not new layer. And then flip horizontal. No, flip vertical. 5 of vials. Inverted. Accepting, forgiving, moving on, and healing. Let's get some more. You know, Alex typing in 5 of vials, it's just gonna give you the same thing, because normie sets call this the 5 of cups. Inverted. The reverse 5 of cups. Let's pull this up so I can look at it and think about it. And suggests that you may have recently suffered a personal setback or disappointment. Maybe. I mean, I left my job, but that wasn't a setback. It having to end is a setback, you know, in sense of like having a career or finding something permanent. Maybe it's a setback, but I don't know that I'm wanting permanence. I don't know that I'm sold on the idea of permanence right now, so that doesn't feel like a loss. It did hurt a little bit walking away from it, because I could see a version of myself that would be happy there, that would be really fulfilled and contented and fit really well. But it wasn't me. And so I think there was some melancholic feeling there, sure. Financial setback, sure, but you may worry that you're a failure and don't want to let others know that you've taken the wrong path. I'm well acquainted with the feeling of being a failure. And this is a feeling I've struggled with a lot of my life, but yeah. Yeah, I've been a failure in many respects. But I think about the amount of people that I've helped, the amount of lives that I've touched, the amount of things that I've been able to do to, in small way after small way after small way, make life less unpleasant, less painful, better for even a small number of people. I'm not a failure. Not at all. I like me. And I'm hopeful that I can do more, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished. You may not be ready to admit it to others and choosing to keep your feelings to yourself and said, nah, not really. However, now might be the time to open up. People around you might not see how much pain you're in right now. I'm not really in pain. I have been. For a lot of my life, I struggled with this, but not now. So I don't know, this read kind of feels backward to me, but that's fine. Maybe it's just me being stubborn on it. So that's our face. What's our oh my god, what's it called in Texas Hold'em? It's not the river. The second draw. Oh my god, Texas Hold'em second draw. Is it the river? Flop turn river. Fuck, I can't remember. No, final in a single community card is the river. It's the flop. This is the flop, then the turn, then the river. For somebody who likes poker and isn't very good at it, you'd think I'd get the terminology a little better. Okay. I'm in my brain, I can't see the card right now. All I see is the back of the card. And you'll see, I'm trying so hard not to look at it. It's identical, inverted, or not inverted. And I picked it up facing away from myself. I'm like twisting my hand back and forth like, is this up? Is this up? Is this up? Is this up? So we'll go with this. Okay, they're all gonna be inverted if I draw this way. Magician inverted. And now I can just pull up the fucking PDF and not have to hold it awkwardly for the camera. Though, you know, some people like to watch me struggle. Myself included, honestly. My hands are shaky, not because I'm nervous, but because my hands are just shaky. And I'm caffeinated. Magician's... is that number 2? Yeah. No, it's number 1. Wait, 0, 1. Yeah. God, the art's so fucking beautiful. Jesus Christ. Oh, I love this. They look cool as hell. I love their tattoo. I love their hair. What a fucking vibe. What a fucking vibe. You got a cup. You got a blade. You got a money. Zenny. Ugh. And then we'll invert you too. So Magician inverted. What we're gonna get from this is gonna be very brief. But we'll start with this. Manipulation, lack of planning, untapped potential. Alright, well, you know, related to themes of planning, discovery, progress, coming from a place of feeling controlled or restrained. Sure, untapped potential. Again, recentering this idea of the importance or need to make a plan. Again, the lack of planning there. Manipulation, that was interesting. Manipulation on my part or feeling of being manipulated. That's an interesting thought. Inverted magician. Magic circle 5e. No, not really. Not really, Google. It's not exactly it. On one level, the Magician verse shows that you're exploring what you want to manifest, but you're not taking action yet. See, that might be a better read. You're uncertain if you have everything you need, and maybe unsure about how to make it happen. It's more that I haven't started thinking logistically at all. And I want to give myself permission to not think logistically. You're uncertain that if you take care of what you intend to manifest, the universe will work out the how. Stay attuned to your intuition and pay attention to the opportunities as they arise. These are like little breadcrumbs that will take you closer to your goal. God. Some divination shit is just so vague and open-ended that could mean anything. That could mean literally anything. That was meaningless. That could mean anything. But okay, within this narrative context that we're creating here, right? I think there's a lot to just drawing this narrative thread that I've been drawing out. This idea of a lack of planning right now. Yeah, this is what I want. I want a lack of planning. This is not a problem. Untapped potential is not a problem. I don't want my potential to be tapped right now. I don't want to make a plan. I'm feeling like I need to make a plan. I'm feeling expected and obligated to make a plan, but I don't fucking want to make one. I just want to breathe and enjoy myself and take my foot off of the gas and just float. I just want that feeling of floating, of going into water and it taking some of your weight away. I want that feeling. I don't want to feel productive or in control or having my hands on the wheel or whatever metaphor you want to take here. I don't need that. I don't need that to be happy right now. I don't need that to feel safe right now. I don't need that to feel in control right now. I don't need that to be at peace or whatever else. I don't need that. But I feel expected to have that and to prioritize that, and I'm struggling with, maybe a little bit feeling like I'm presenting as being a failure, being weird or abnormal or whatever else, because I'm not prioritizing that, because I'm prioritizing my feelings, my values, my intuition of what's best for me over the prescription of what's best for me. And maybe a lot of what I'm struggling with in finding the space to really embrace what I'm wanting and finding the energy to really lean into it is this internalized tension between dictated, socially or economically dictated obligation and what I actually need and actually want. Okay, all right, sure. Got some tension there between where I'm at, where I'm trying to go, what I'm feeling expected of me versus what I'm actually wanting, what part of me feels is safe or responsible with what I feel is actually best for me. Sure. And now we try to wrap all this up, put a little bow on it with a resolution. And I don't think we're gonna get there. But the idea is that we'll get there. So, okay. I know that if I draw this the same way I've been drawing, we're gonna get another reverse card. So maybe I should have been shuffling between each draw, because now I'm thinking about knowing the orientation before I draw, which is me. You're supposed to... The idea is you try to, connect with the heart of the cards. You try to feel out which card or messenger or theme is really speaking to you, is really what you're looking for. And a lot of that intentionality, a lot of that process is opening yourself up to susceptibility a little bit, but more embracing a suspension of disbelief, right? Getting yourself in a headspace where you're open to thinking about things differently or feeling about things differently. And yeah, it can be a transcendent spiritual thing, but it can also just be fun, enjoyable fantasy, or it can just be an excuse to step aside from your really rigid cognitive framework, which you can say isn't rigid, but it's rigid, and be a bit more plastic is not the right word, malleable in that sense. Loose? I'm not liking any of these words. Okay, regardless. Ah, God, no, this is really bothering me. What's the fucking word? Tangible? Flexible? Okay, what I'm thinking is the feeling of, I guess, malleables, right? The feeling of playing with wet clay is the sensation that I'm trying to communicate. But not in that you're malleable, in that you're able to be influenced, but in that kind of fluidic, romantic, in the flow feeling of physically making art, physically making something, this sort of transcendent, divine, inspired space between the conceptualization of something and the physical embodiment of it, the process of creation and improv, right? You have an idea, but you in the creation don't just make it step by step like a machine. You kind of do, but there's a lot of improvisation. I don't have a good word to describe that feeling, but anyway, that's the headspace it's supposed to get you in, right? That's the headspace, that you're open to the process. And my anxious analytical brain is like, but what if I think about every tiny aspect of it and take all the joy out of it? All right, so what do we get for the conclusion here? I inverted it anyway. This is 6 of wires. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm not even gonna try to make that in focus, because I've a PDF of them. Why would I? Burp. Just take me back to the cards. 6 of wires? 6 of wires. Is that 2 from wires? No, that was... Yes, it was. Wires. God, some of these are so pretty. So we had the... 6 of wires. Man, I haven't looked that closely at this one before. Man, have I even seen this one before? I've looked at them all. I don't think I've ever drawn this one before. Yeah, this doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna say inverted probably feels better than this being face up, because I'm like, that's not the vibe. That doesn't seem right at all. 6 of wires. Inverted. Ego, doubt, fall from grace. You know, conceptually, I don't really like that as a resolution. Oh, that's a rough tumble for our previous reigning champion of the demolition Dirt Bike Dash. Dirt Bike Dash. Dirt Bike Dash? The emphasis on the syllables there does not sound right. How embarrassing to lose so many limbs in front of so many people. Ah, well, viewers, such as the cost of fame and the mercurial nature of victory. 6 of... Oh, God. Fingers were off of home row there. 6 of wands. Reversed. Ah, well, you know what? Maybe this is right. 6 of wands reversed suggests you might have reached a significant personal milestone. But unlike the upright version of this card, you prefer to keep it to yourself right now. Alright. You may be uncomfortable receiving public praise for your work, or it may be a private achievement that you have no reason to share with others. Maybe check in with yourself there. Are you avoiding sharing it because you lack confidence or feel nervous about being too over the top? Probably the latter, if anything. Reverse 6 of wands encourages you to create your own definition of success. Okay, I was talking a lot about that before drawing this, so fair. If you found yourself seeking approval or validation, comparing yourself to others, you may have stripped yourself or your personal power and self-belief. Let's keep this in the background. Rather than relying on somebody else's opinions of what is successful and what is not, bring your energy and attention within and ask yourself, what does success mean to me? Your answer will look different from other people's interpretations because your values and priorities are unique to you. What? No! When you're clear about what success means to you, make better decisions that are more in alignment with who you really are and increase your confidence and independence. Yeah. No kidding. That's not really all that helpful. That's honestly not that helpful for a resolution. It's not disquieting or unsettling. It's not worrying, but it's not really all that reassuring. Saying that, yeah, I'm finding myself in a period where I feel like I need to make a plan. I feel expected to make a plan or to have a plan. I can see, you know, within a certain time frame, really by early to mid-April, early April, I need to have a plan moving forward for a job, for my financial stability, for my material stability, for my personal well-being, safety, you know, survival. And that's juxtaposed with this sense that right now the plan is to try to find a way to not worry about that, not think about that, and just pursue my emotional well-being and joy and satisfaction and love of life. And this struggle of, you know, this sense of control, lack of control. I don't know. And the resolution just being like, yeah, dog, figure it out. That's not particularly helpful, right? Like, there is no right answers. Make your own right answer. You don't worry about what other people think. Yeah, no shit. I don't need reassurance on that account. At all. I'm not worried what many other people think, and that's an important word there. Many. I am very concerned of what some people think of me. I'm very concerned of what or how some people see me or feel about me. Some more than others. I think I've been giving that a lot of energy. And not necessarily in a bad way. God, this could have been an easy number, huh? But I don't think that's a bad thing. Not necessarily. Caring what other people think of you or how other people will perceive you is... I mean, there's a fine line, right, of where that's healthy or not healthy, where that works for you and does good work for you and helps ground you or helps you connect with other people, versus the point where it suffocates you, where the point where it consumes you, the point where it subsumes you, you know, and usurps you and takes away your sense of self, autonomy, identity, whatever else. And, you know, just being human, being these social creatures that we are, I feel is a constant ebb and flow between the inner and the outer, the socialized creature and the biological entity. And, you know, I don't want to make some nonsense characterization like they're in conflict with one another. Absolutely not. They work in synergy with one another. So what? So what? What do we want to do about this? Apparently just whatever the fuck I want to do about it, right? You got this sense of feeling controlled and confined monetarily, yes. Socially, financially, yes. But also, I appreciate I have a lot of control over my life. I have a lot of open doors and windows and possibilities open to me. There's so many lives I can be living and so much possibility and potential, which, you know, is a lot of what Two of Wires or Two of Wands is about seeing the world, is about discovery and progress and planning and ambition in a way. So they're not contradictory, right? This inverted Five of Arms, and God, my brain cannot... Vials, that's Five of Vials. My brain cannot read that text upside down. What the fuck even was that? I cannot remember. Needing to make a plan, right? Right. Vials, let's just open that in a new tab, because if I don't remember, we can go back and go take another look-see. Accepting, forgiving, moving on, and healing. Nope. Yeah, no, this is bad. I think there's no... This is a great small example of what I'm talking about. There's no real conflict here. This all flows. This narratively flows, thematically flows, because I'm a creative storytelling creature and I got 5 bullet points and I made them into a linear narrative because it's comforting to do that. There's no problem here. There's no problem here, and I'm so uncomfortable with it. I want there to be a problem. I want there to be a problem so I can solve it, so I can get a sense of accomplishment and success and purpose from solving it. I want that friction and that tension, and it's not here. And this constricting feeling is entirely internalized. I mean, it's material after a while, but it's not material right now. That this, you know, race that I'm running, it's not a race. It's not a competition. It's just me. Really, no one cares if I succeed or fail. That it's a success regardless, because life is a journey, not a destination. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a takeaway here. I want to be happy, okay? I want to be happy, I do. So I'm gonna let myself have fun. I'm gonna wrap this up. I played 16 fucking hours of Elden Ring yesterday. Bought it, played 16 hours of it. I think I'm gonna do more of that. That was a lot of fun. I went out and had brunch today with a really good friend of mine, and it was like seeing the sun through the clouds after a rainy day. Dappling rediscovery or illumination of feeling of hope and potential and belonging and existential peace. Feelings of springtime and joy and potential and youth in that sense. After I got home, I got a little in my head about how much I talk and monologue and worrying about it, but also trying to just sit with it and be okay with it and think about wonderful and beautiful people I've had in my life and how much they've enjoyed that part of me and valued that part of me, and trying to use that as a catalyst for appreciating it in myself more. If I could do anything, I'd love to take a crush out, a specific crush of mine out, who I can't, because they're nowhere near me, and just impractical. Well, can't is a strong word. Financially, it's possible, but irresponsible, yes. Indulgent, yes. Over the top, yes. Too much, yes. Not impossible. And I don't mean out in like, I want to get coffee, hold their hand, see their fucking bright, beautiful, sparkly, goddamn eyes, and just kind of sit and listen to them, because they're incredible, and I'm really glad that they exist. And that sounds really nice right now. I've been talking about this struggle of dating and finding people I connect with, and I'm really enjoying being around and being intimate with, and I care about them, and I'm really happy to be in their life and helping them and being helped by them, but not feeling like falling in love is possible, not getting the butterflies in the same way, feeling really tender and intimate and close, but not daydreaming. Give me springtime and a dream. God, yeah. Making new friends would be nice, I guess. It's important to me. It's not that important. Honestly, it's not that important right now. I don't really have a conclusion here. And that's sort of the point. but it makes wrapping this up kind of difficult, huh? So I guess we can just leave it here. I'm okay and things are going fine, and I don't need more of a direction than I have right now. The things I want and people I want in my life, or I just want, but life isn't bad. It really is. I'm grateful to be alive. These feelings of being a failure, of being in a race or a competition, and not meeting others' desires or goals or expectations, juxtaposed with trying to appreciate and value your own contributions. Yeah, I'm definitely in the place of a younger version of me had these idealized expectations of how much I could do. And there are days where I feel this sense of wasted potential. But then there are days where I am able to give myself credit and think about how much I've done. And really enjoy that. So maybe more of that moving forward, huh? Okay. It's been like an hour. I need to fucking stop. I want to have some conclusion here, but I don't. Am I going to be streaming anything? I'd kind of like to. I would. But I kind of don't want to, obviously, because I'm not doing it. I don't want to stream any Paradox stuff. Oh my god. Watching these fucking Hearts of Iron 4 community idiots talking about war in Ukraine, or nuclear war, or whatever, and using it as some sort of, like, simulator. I done told you, Paradox. You should have done a better job moderating this community, and now it's showing its whole ass. War games don't sound fun. That's not an escapist fantasy right now at all. That's not really. I'm not dreaming of revolution right now. I mean, I always am, but I don't really want that content right now. I don't want to stream Elden Ring because I'm just vibing, dog. I'm just vibing, and I'm really enjoying just vibing. I might stream some Islanders or tower defense game or some shit where I don't need backseating and I'm just here to vibe and hang out, but like I don't know. I'm not feeling like I need that either. I talked to a friend of mine earlier this week. Was that this week? I guess it was. And he was saying that we haven't talked in a while and he hasn't seen me streaming, and that's a way that we sometimes hang out. And I'm like, fuck, he's right. But I'm not feeling like I need this. And I don't get paid to do this, so my motivation's pretty low. I'm okay. I'm really okay. I'd like to be building something. I'd like to be working on something beautiful and magnificent to share and inspire. I don't have it though. I don't have it right now, and that's fine. That's okay. So more content, maybe. I don't know. If you have some fun ideas, exciting ideas, stuff you'd like to see me talk about or engage with, definitely let me know. But like, I'm not gonna go play the new Total War. I'm not gonna get really into any grand strategy games or war games or anything, because like, I don't know, man. Like, reality's kind of dark, and I don't really want to be focusing on this theme of like top-down strategy god simulator kind of this personal interaction with conflict. It's not what I'm needing, and it's not what I'm valuing right now. Weirdly enough, it's not to say I don't enjoy these games. I literally dreamed about managing fleet logistics in a game similar to Stellaris. I dreamt about it, and it was zen. It was zen. Dreaming about managing a logistical network. Okay? I enjoy this tedious shit. I'm looking forward to Victoria 3. That was very satisfying. I enjoy these nerdy ass games, and I'm very good at them, but nah. I've been playing a lot of Paraspora. Paraspora is a game where you play as an AI, terraforming Mars, so we've been getting some of the logistical enjoyment out of that, but I don't really want to stream that or record that either, because I've already beaten the game. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. I'm not trying to do it like competitively. I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you could be doing this, or this is more optimal. I don't care, dog. I'm here to vibe. And it's like super satisfying watching the red planet slowly turn blue and green, like Clan Magnifique. The main story's fine. It's fine. But again, it has some really unnecessary conflict in it, which, like, I didn't really want, and I don't really enjoy, and it doesn't really add anything to the game. It's just, it's really clear that there's, Paraspora has this problem where early on, you're struggling with getting enough resources. You hit a point where you have enough resources, but you're struggling against, like, meteor strikes and storms threatening your logistical system. And then the atmosphere gets stabilized and big enough that meteor strikes aren't big of a concern anymore, so natural disasters aren't a big thing, and then, well, okay, if you're not adding water to the planet, that's it. You've reached a really safe threshold. So instead they introduce like an outside antagonistic force that'll send drones to attack you, and you have to kill the drones and do a little wargaming, and it feels ham-fisted. From a game design perspective, feels really ham-fisted. Like, it's a stable point in the game that needs to not be stable in order to stay interesting and challenging. And so they just artificially create that with this tension, and to me it felt more like somebody addressing this game design problem more so than responding holistically to the terraforming process, which could be like internalized politics, or focus more on exploration and like the creation of city-states or different colonies, relationship between those colonies and with Earth, and with like interpersonal things. But that's really hard to create dynamically in a game. Impossible. That narrative has to kind of be on rails. So I can get why it's not there, but I don't like that it's not there. I said I'd stop. I fucking lied. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to play it. So here's this weird Paraspora sidebar. And then you get through this part of the game where it's pretty easy. Honestly, you get like 1,000 drones and it's done. You're gonna handle all the aggression it throws at you for the rest of the game. Then, you're supposed to keep terraforming the planet, so you're terraforming the planet by bringing water, and then the water level starts going up, so that cuts off your access to a lot of the map, and then the struggle becomes, okay, so a lot of these resources and facilities and like infrastructure that you've created is now in a flood zone or underwater, and you have to start transitioning to higher ground and higher ground. and then introducing like water filtration facilities, but those have to be close to water, but the water level is rising, so those have to either be moved or put in very strategic locations where they're not going to flood, but there's only so many of those, and if you only go with safe installations, then terraforming takes longer, but there's no real penalty to it taking longer, so like who gives a shit except for you, and you're gonna die eventually, and how many hours of it do you want to spend of your life? Wow, let's try that again. How many hours of your life do you really want to be spent playing this game, watching water levels slowly rise? So it's a balance between like the tedium of placing new water treatment plants and just putting them where they make sense. I don't know, like in my mind it makes sense just to make them floating water treatment facilities or designed to be moved. But it's a game design problem, whatever. So, okay, you know, it keeps some sort of challenger thing you have to engage with, and then, like, mines are running out, and so your logistical network is getting more and more spread out, so either you have to move the industrial core out and do a decentralized model, or you have to reinforce and upgrade your infrastructure for moving supplies into this industrial center in order to produce the goods you need to maintain the colonies, continue expansion, maintain your networks, yada yada yada. It's kind of interesting. In the same way that like City Skylines designing like a working road network is interesting. But then like the game, it just after this mid-game, honestly, after you stabilize the atmosphere, Paraspora is done. It's done. It's easy. There's no real externalized threats anymore. The internal threats are all manageable. The problems you're going to run into from terraforming are all reasonable, manageable, so long as you've done any kind of planning in advance. And it's not dissatisfying, right? It's just like, I want something more, but I don't know what. I want something out of it, some sort of catharsis, and I'm not sure what. And this game isn't the only one that's left me with that. Surviving Mars evokes the same feeling. After you reach this mid-game peak where things are stabilized, you've researched enough, and everything's firing on all cylinders, and that doesn't stop. And my brain kind of just switches off because it's a solved problem. It's a solved problem. There are no difficulties that will be introduced that haven't already been accounted for. So continuing to play just feels like a waste of time because I know how it's going to end. Because everything's set in motion and nothing can disturb what's in motion. All I can do is make it go faster, more efficient. And I guess that's what I spend my time on. I guess. But that's really not that appealing because I've already reasonably well created something efficient and effective. And circling back to what I've been talking about. Just gotta let yourself have fun. I'm having trouble with that. I'm looking for problems to solve. And I don't have to. So, how do we want to sum this up? We'll start by putting this up. So it's a real outro this time. I'm doing fine. I'm doing really well. I'm finally cleaning up and taking care of all these little things I've been putting off. Things are settling down. I'm feeling hopeful. And I've just gotta continue slowing my breathing, relaxing, letting myself enjoy myself without trying to find problems to solve where they may exist, but they don't have to. I'm excited for spring, and I hope that you are too. With that, I'm gonna wrap up. I don't really like this as an endpoint. I haven't really liked any of this as an endpoint. None of it feels final enough, but I guess I'm gonna be left with that feeling, huh? So until later, whenever that is, I'm gonna say toodaloo. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.